So I came across this on Facebook. Blot on the landscape, anger over giant Scottish AI data centre. Now, I have seen things recently, especially in the last few months, more related to America, where arable farmland, yet again, is getting taken over and under some ordinance, whatever pesh, but Agenda 21 related, people are being forced to hand over farmland, arable farmland, for these data centers. Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you, there is a number of things that you really should start questioning, not least of which is the history of the processor and the companies involved. You should also look at graphics, GPUs, CPUs, blah, blah, blah. But even in the 90s, there was far more players. Far more, yeah. But by the noughties, I mean, really. And now, there's maybe two or three really major, and people could counter that and say, oh, look, there's other companies, yeah, replicating a specific chip, yeah. I would argue that the technology is obviously far more advanced than that. And when you think of what you're seeing here, it's the reverse of anything to do with common sense. After all, chips become more, there just seems to be this lag, yeah. And we're being now told that, oh no, we need buildings the size of villages that need vast amounts of water for some known reason, and yet, what is it about the history of coolants and, anyway, that's another subject, but and the sheer amount of resources needed to do what, by the way? Seriously. Historically, up until, recent decades, and when you look at the successful history of Western civilization especially, what did it embrace? Although not West exclusively, libraries. The written word, books, yeah, data, yeah, in all its wonderful shapes and forms. Why do we need these data centers? And I'll repeat, given the fact of what, actually, when you think about it, processing power technology should be at, and this supposedly wonderful software that goes with it, why do we need these things? Now, you could look at it from, the occultist point of view. The blot in the landscape is humanity. When you look at the whole of sci-fi, it's always about flesh and blood beings getting to some point of enlightenment and they turn into beings of energy, yeah? What you're quite literally seeing is us being replaced by, soulless entity of some kind. You could argue, I would say successfully, that this sounds very much like some kind of birth of Lucifer. Like that, when you think about it, that anything to do with living in flesh and blood is taking second priority to the pursuit of AI. And I'll repeat, what did we used to rely on for good reason? Our ability to garner information from things like libraries, life experience, communication, intergenerational family life experience, the embracement of the young and old on that human experience. All of that is to be replaced by what? I mean, at the very least, if, even if you were slightly cynical, it is the absolute extraction almost to the atom of every aspect of our lives. To be what? To be atomized, really, when you think about it. Honestly, you look at the examples right throughout sci-fi of the supposed enlightenment of going from something flesh and blood to beings of energy. Star Trek, Star Wars, Babylon 5, endless shit show list. Oh, the first ones. Oh, and when humanity a million years from then go, beings of light, blah, blah, blah. When you look at that biblically, beings of light, woe betide you. But yeah, this ongoing shit show, and nobody's saying, why do we need these AI data centers? For what reason, unless it's the absolute atomization of every aspect of our life and anything to do with flesh and blood to what? Eradicate it over time? Honestly, yet again, I still think C.S. Lewis's That Hideous Strength, what a book. And I'll speak to you soon.